Our next speaker, as you know, Walk for Life has always focused on the impact of abortion on women, and we've always had at least one person come and give their testimony. So today it's really a great honor. Please give a very warm welcome to, a return welcome to Georgette Forney, who is one of the founders of the Silent No More Awareness Campaign, and Irene Beltran, who will be giving her testimony. And just, it's always very heartfelt, and without any further ado, I'm going to bring them up.
Hi everyone, I'm Georgette Forney, and I'm the President of Anglicans for Life. And Janet Morana, Father Frank Pavone, and I are the founders of the Silent No More Awareness Campaign, silentnomoreawareness.org. And we are here today because we want to tell you about these women who are holding these "I regret my abortion" signs. These women and men are being silent no more about a very difficult choice we've made earlier in our lives. Those who support abortion like to discuss it from a theoretical perspective, but we are here today to address this critical issue from a personal perspective. We have personally bought the lie. They told us at the clinic it was just a blob of tissue. It wasn't a baby yet, as Lila Rose documented. We now know it is a baby. And we are up here today because we've come to the place in our grieving to be able to acknowledge that we have lost and we regret our abortions. And we want to honor them and say that their lives matter to us. We also want any woman or man who's experienced an abortion to know help is available. If you're watching this, if you're hearing this, and you can relate to that feeling of a knife going in your stomach and it being twisted when you hear that word abortion, or you hear babies crying in your dreams, or every year on a certain day, maybe the date your abortion took place or the time your baby was due, you spiral emotionally, we want you to know you are not alone. Counseling programs, aftercare programs exist throughout the country to help you. Visit our website, silentnomoreawareness.org, and the Help Resources section has a great number of places you can go. So many of us thought abortion would solve our problem pregnancy, but the reality is abortion created a host of other problems for us personally, physically, and spiritually. Abortion changes you forever. We agree with those who say women deserve better than abortion. We've been down that dead-end road, and we want to prevent another generation from wasting their time and life going into that direction. Personal experience inspires us to work to make abortion unthinkable and unnecessary. We are the reality of abortion, and we will be silent no more.
Good morning, Walk for Life, San Francisco. I am Irene Beltran from Southern California, and learning about the Silent No More campaign is one of the best things to ever happen to me. Today I'm going to tell you about the story of my daughter, Lenore Bridget Beltran. You see, my husband and I were high school sweethearts, and by the time I was 22 and he was 24, we had 6 beautiful daughters. I was going to school full-time and working part-time, and he was going to work full-time. The stress of it all was unbearable because, you see, a few months before that, we stopped going to Mass, and with God, it was unbearable. We decided to separate, and during the separation, I became pregnant with a childhood friend, from a childhood friend. And my husband and I decided to reconcile 4 months into my pregnancy. I made the decision to abort with my godless and warped thinking at the time. I was on my way to the abortion clinic and I was talking to God and I was telling him, God, I'm not going to really do it because there's going to be sidewalk counselors there. I'm going to tell them my story, we're going to pray, they're going to make me feel better, and I'm going to get turned away. But to my astonishment, there were no sidewalk counselors there. I walked into the abortion clinic depressed and alone, crying. I couldn't even engage in a simple conversation. I felt like I was part of a herd, just being processed from one step to the next. They called me in the back room, laid me down, administered medicine into my stomach, and instantaneously my daughter started punching and kicking and twisting. Later, I found out she was being burned. I was supposed to return to the abortion clinic the next day, but right after that, I went straight to home, told my mother what I did. We went straight to the hospital, to the labor delivery department. They hooked me up to a monitor. The baby appeared fine, and she had a healthy heartbeat. The doctor was optimistic. But he consulted a specialist, and an hour later the specialist came and said the medicine I took would deteriorate my daughter's heart, and there was nothing I can do about it. They encouraged me to go back to the abortion clinic because, you see, it was easier for them to dismember the baby piece by piece and take her out than it was for me to have her whole. I refused. And the next day, after 7 hours of labor, I gave birth to a beautiful angel, Georgette Beltran. And I remember as it was yesterday, we wrapped her up like a little burrito, like you do newborn babies. My husband scooped her up in his arms. He looked down upon her face, caressing her face from her forehead down to her chin, and he was sobbing, and his tears were landing on her face, and he was saying, "I am so sorry. I love you. Please forgive me." You see, I know the torment of killing your own child. I not only destroyed her life, but destroyed countless generations from ever existing. I was in deep sorrow when I watched my children weep as I told them that the same mother they knew who hugged them, the same mother they knew who kissed them, the same mother they knew who was overprotective of them, was the same mother that killed their baby sister, the same mother that robbed them from ever playing with her, feeding her, bonding with her. I've robbed 3 sets of grandparents from a granddaughter. My husband had many sleepless nights because of the decision I made. I tormented the biological father and his family with my decision. It is overbearing, but I stand in front of you today through the grace of God because He has healed me. And He also finally gave me a son. Together we will protect the soul of this nation, and we will free America from the chains of abortion. May God bless you all. Thank you.